see how close we can get on our green there that's missing. When I'm mixing paint, I use a regular clear palette. I'm sure you've seen me use it before, and an actual paint knife. It just makes it easier for me. You can mix it in a cup, the lid, whatever you want to do. Whatever's easiest for you. This is just easier for me because then I can, you know, get it right over and get close to it. And what else really helps is color wheel. You know, you can see we have a green there, and if we add yellow, we get this a little lighter green with some yellow in it, because this green does have yellow in it. I'm no paint mixing expert, that's for sure. You see, a lot of my colors are never the same. You know, I can't match. It's just really hard to match on this old paint. So all you can do is get as close as you can. And a little darker is always better, because it's not quite as noticeable as if it's all, you know, if it's a lot lighter. It kind of sticks out more if it's light than dark. Your eyes kind of get tricked into believing that it's the same color, or it's not as noticeable, we'll put it that way. Started out with some shamrock green, which is pretty, you know, that one, it's a little too dark. I like using the paint palette, because then I can control a lot better as to how much paint I put in and how much I can mix. You know, I can start out with just a wee little bit and get it in there. I guess I didn't really need that much. And like I said, this paint always dries darker than what it looks on the palette. So if you can, mix it a little light, and then you can test it. In an area, you know, you can put it right on where you're going to be painting. This is we're going on bare wood, so you can't wipe it back off, because it'll suck it right up. But you can just go ahead and paint over it and lighten it up with some more paint. I know a lot of people, when they're painting Playfields and that some colors, like yellow, is really hard to cover. You have to put a lot of coats on it to get it to cover. So if you start out and it's, you know, you don't like it, you know, keep mixing and then cover it again. It'll cover it. Geez, I didn't realize that I had that much paint. And I know I waste a lot of paint. But you know, these little bottles are only 89 cents at Hobby Lobby. And that's where I got the paint. Oops, sorry about that. That's where I got the paint palette. And the paint knife. And we're going to need some more yellow. take a lot. Yeah, it's going the right way. Just not as quick as I would like it to. See, the way it's acting, I probably could have started with yellow and started adding green. Hey, come on. Still pretty bright, pretty green. I'll get some more yellow in there. This might be one that I do have quite a bit of green to paint. I bought a bunch of little containers, and when I mix up a lot of paint, if I feel I'm going to use it again on the same machine, or if I feel like I might use it again on something else, I put it in that and save it. Because this, you know, it sits on this pallet, and it gets dried out along the edges. And then, you know, it all depends on how much you're painting. You may have to let it sit for a while. And it gets all funky. That's why I don't like doing it in the lid. Because it still looks pretty dark. Let me all my other yellows kind of have an orange to it. This is just bright yellow that I'm putting in it, and you can see it's pretty close. I mean, that would look good if it would dry like that, but it's not going to dry like that. It's going to turn dark on us. Wish I had just a little bit lighter yellow that was still bright. There, now see, that is a little lighter. So what we're going to do is we will test it a little bit. I'll let that dry and see what it looks like. I'll bring you back after it dries and we'll... Alright, you can... Oh, dang, I keep kicking you. Stay out of my way and I won't kick you. You can see we're just a little bit darker than what's on here. I transferred my paint to one of my little containers because I'm going to be painting a lot of green through the up through there. So I am going to add a little yellow. And no, I'm not going to pee in it. Like I said, I could have used a little bit lighter yellow, but all my yellows I had had too much orange in them. You know, like the golden yellow and that. And then the lighter yellows that I do have are kind of a little milky looking to me, like it would really wash it out. Oop, a little bit of yellow on there. Now see, that's going to go darker. Let's add some more yellow. God, I'm going to have an awful... Ooh. Somebody just screwed up. Somebody puked a big daub of yellow paint on the playfield. We want this to look almost really light. This green seems to darken up quite a bit. See, that's quite a bit lighter. Let's not worried about that black. I got to go back over that black. Now I need a paintbrush. That would help. Now we're going to do the same area again. That still looks like it might be a little dark. Because we got a lot of green to do up through the bonus and around the bottom of the ship. And I'm not worried about getting it too light. If it's too light, you just turn around and put some more green back in it. Alright, now let's let that dry up and see what it looks like. This is what I go through trying to match up paint on these playfields, and you're never going to get it perfect. You know, unless you're a master paint mixer, and I'm definitely no master paint mixer. I can make a mess with the rest of them. So we'll let that dry up and see what it looks like. Dry up and blow away. Yeah, I had to wipe that all off. I'm surprised it came off of the wood. I was getting a little too many layers on there. That last one I didn't like either. So here's the newest concoction. Like I said, the yellow in this really thins it out. So it's going to take more than one coat. We may have to put a sweater on it too. Alright. Now we'll let that dry and see how close we are. I know, doing little short segments here, but I just kind of wanted you to see what I go through to try and match up these paints as close as I can, and maybe it'll help somebody else match up some of theirs. Okay, I think we got it this time. That's pretty stinking close. I think it'll, once it's shined up with some clear coat, I think it's gonna blend right in very nicely. We do have quite a bit of the green to do. You know, like I said, up around the bonus numbers. Got a lot up in there to do. I just put those black ink marks in so I could, well, paint marks, so I knew how far down to go. And then we'll put them back in after this is all painted and dry, and then we'll go ahead and put in our black lines where they are needed. Alright, I'm going to work on the green throughout the Playfield. There's a couple of spots that I'll do, and then I may show you me screwing up the center some more. fun part here is putting in these stars. You know, you have to be kind of random. You have to be random, but you don't want to... With me, what happens is I have a tendency to want to start doing it in a straight line instead of being random. And it makes it, you know, look uniform. Well, sky is not uniform, it's just should be random. And you gotta have little ones. Yep, a little big. See? That's what I mean. I just went in a straight line. So it makes it tough to really make it look random. And you need big ones, and you need wee little itty bitty ones. I kind of try and just go wherever and put a couple in and then try and fill it in randomly. Like so. You can see I did the other side already, and I started up in here, and I just have this little bit to do here, and then I still have 2,000 words to put in. You can see I worked a couple of them in that were just missing letters, which that's not too bad. You just have some missing letters, but if you have to do the whole thing, it's not... I'm not good at letters and numbers. So I will do the best I can on them. And hopefully I can make them look decent. Do a little freckle all through there. Around that big star, we'll do a whole bunch of little ones. I finished up the star field. That last clip kind of ended abruptly because my battery went dead, and I just went ahead and finished up that little area. I'm going to back off a little bit here. And let's see, we got just about everything done on the Playfield. We got our activate transporter, welcome aboard. We got that all squared away. Up top there, red's off a little bit, but you know, that's alright. I'm not going to worry about it. This Playfield was in such poor condition to start with that it's going to look, you know, a hell of a lot better than what it was. We got everything all touched up. I just have a little bit of orange to do here and here, and maybe over there around the special one lit. And I gotta put in 1,000 and 1,000. Oh, man, I had a few letters missing. Those I can, I can kind of put those in, but man, doing the whole thing, trying to get it to the right size and everything, I may have to map it out and do it. I need the height, the right height on it, but we'll see. I suppose I could leave them out, but now I'll go ahead and put them in. I'll see if I can't get them put in, make them look at half decent anyway. Not going to say it's going to look great, but it's the plow going by. So let me work on that. Once we get that done and a little bit of orange, we'll be ready to clear coat this whole play field and be ready to start working underneath so we can get it put in a cabinet and see what it does. We got a lot of work to do underneath. Alright, we're all done touching up. I think I could spend another day or so just kind of going over and nitpicking and doing little itty bitty spots. But I'm getting tired of looking at this thing, so we're going to clear coat it. Now normally after I, you scrub them down with the magic eraser and alcohol, you really don't have to do anything because it's roughed up enough from the magic eraser for clear coat to stick to it. And I thought this was kind of interesting where you got this, you have her and you can see right, it was switch right in her crotch. This guy, I had to put a little green in his crotch. And anyway, I use polyacrylic protective finish, water-based Minwax, clear gloss. This is made for furniture, and furniture is wood. And what are we clear coating here? Wood. No, it's not furniture, and unless you're making a coffee table out of it, I guess. Yeah, then it would be considered furniture. But if I use the water base at some point in time, if I need to repair something, I can remove the water base clear very easily. So that's what I use, only on the playfield. Now on the cabinets, I use rattle can. They're kind of out in the open more, so the rattle can, that you have to clean off with like mineral spirits or some lacquer thinner or something like that. So on the playfield, I like to use something that can be removed in case I have to do something. I can remove it, repair, and then clear coat it again. It's very easy to remove this after it's on. Now after it's dry and hard, no, it's just like your end table that's clear coated. That's exactly what that stuff is. I like it. It polishes up nice, and it doesn't stink when I'm clear coating. I don't have to don the respirator suit in order to clear coat the whole playfield. Now when I do cabinets, yes, I mask up and everything when I'm doing my cabinets. And brushes, I use either one. I have these foam brushes, they work good. I just they leave a lot of bubbles. They seem to bubble quite a bit. So I use my Artist Touch. This is a real fine, soft brush. This one, I got that at Hobby Lobby. That's 1.5 inches. That was as big as they had. And it works just fine. That brush, I think, was like $18 for an artist's brush. But, you know, like I said, it's real soft. So you have less chance of leaving brush marks with that. With this, you know, this is pretty stiff. You know, I'll use them. You know, either or. I just don't like the bubbles that this leaves behind. It leaves behind a lot of bubbles. This doesn't. So that's what I use to clear coat. Normally, I plug all my light sockets up with a paper towel. You can use whatever you want. You know, earplugs, those little foamy earplugs work good. You can use those. You can just roll them up and stick them in there. I'm not too worried about a lot of these because they are so dirty anyway that they all need cleaned. In fact, we may be changing quite a few of them because of the condition of the underside of this was. Inserts, a lot of people don't like changing inserts because they like to keep it all original. But these inserts are they're dried out. I'm going to change the 2 rollover stars. I'm not worried about them. The Same Player Shoots Again is all nasty looking, so I'm going to change it out too. And while I'm doing that, I may change out a couple of these because they're a little ugly. The special, I might leave that one alone. But when you clear coat, you try and get as heavy as you can on your inserts to kind of level them out a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and put clear coat in every one of my inserts to try and level them out. I mean, that's just all part of the fun of the game, is when you have a little bit of waviness on your inserts. It's fun. You get thrown a curveball now and then. So this one I'm going to be putting on pretty heavy. I want to get pretty heavy coats on this. It wasn't real crispy. It was a little bit. But I want to protect what we do have left here. And I have so much touch up on this. So much paint on it. I want to do a lot of heavy clear coats on it to get it to seal up really good. So I can keep what I do have. So I'll set you up in the tripod and I'll show you how I do one. You know, I'll put a coat on. You know, it's really simple. You know, we just clear coat it. So we'll get that. I'll get you set up and I'll show you one coat, and then I'll go ahead and finish it up as I see fit. Now I took my clamps off up top here so I can clear coat under my C-clamps. This clear coat smooths out really nice too once you have it on. You know, you'll have some brush marks, but it smooths out and lays down really nice. And I lied, it does stink. Just not like rattle can. Another good thing about this stuff too is it dries quick. I heated up the garage before I started doing this. Because it's about, I think it's about 19 degrees outside right now. And being water-based, it cleans up really nice and easy. That way you can spend the money on a good brush. And all you have to do is wash it out with water. Which is really nice. If you're using an oil base or something like that, you know, you're looking at using mineral spirits or lacquer thinner or something to clean your brushes. That's just more stink. And I just work my way down a little bit at a time. That way I know where I stopped and where I need to continue. The only problem I've ever had with clear coating over these acrylic paints is that one acrylic pen I got, and that was on Knight Rider. It run. That was a mess. Now, I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. I'm not telling you this is the best way to do it. I'm just saying this is how I do it. And if you have a better way to do it that you like doing, then more power to you. Go for it. This one will probably get about three coats on this one, just for the simple fact I want to have a really good coverage on it. I have 3 coats of clear on here, and steel wool in between each coat. This is my final coat, and we're going to get this all cut down to where I like it so we can polish it out. You can use, I use 4/0 steel wool. You can use scratchies. This scratchy is equivalent to 4/0, but it's not as aggressive as the steel wool is, and I'm kind of old school that I know steel wool makes a bigger mess. You know, if you're not into cleaning up a lot of steel wool stuff, you know, you'll get the clear coat that you're removing, and you also get a lot of steel wool dust. You can put on as many coats as you want. I chose 3 on this one because it was pretty lumpy. You can go with, you know, 2 coats. 2 good coats is usually fine. But like I said, this one is pretty lumpy, and so I wanted to get enough on it so when I do my final, I can take quite a bit down and smooth it out more. When you steel wool in between coats, you're going to be taking all the material off of the top, and hopefully you're leaving all the clear coat. Ooh, I got there, looks like a hair or something. You want to take it off the top so it smooths it out. You know, there's a lot of little imperfections that you can get out, like cracks in the paint. You know, you can get them filled in with your clear coat and smooth it out more. And wherever you touch up with your acrylics, you will always have a little bit of hump in your brush marks. You know, you can get a lot of that out just by clear coating and then steel wooling in between each coat. You know, you don't have to worry about taking too much off because you're gonna put another coat on. But if you have Playfield that's pretty nice, you know, you didn't have to do a whole lot of touch up. You're not going to see it. You don't have to do 3 coats. When you get a lot of planking, 3 coats seems to work pretty good. And you can go more. You know, you can do as many coats as you want. However many you feel like doing, you do. I'm not telling you that 2 is right. I'm not telling you 3 is right. I'm just telling you what I do. This playfield will never look like a museum piece, but you all know that's not what that's not what I'm going for. I just want them to be decent looking and very playable. This is the hardest part, is getting it all steel wooled down. Nah, take that back. Polishing them out by hand, I think, is the hardest. And same thing again, you don't have to hand rub them. If you feel like you need to use a buffer, some sort of buffer, then you go ahead and use a buffer. When I was doing furniture, everything was done by hand. So I just kind of that's what I do. Everything gets done by hand. Now if you use rattle can instead of steel wool, you know, you can wet sand it. If you're using some sort of mineral base or lacquer base, clear coat, you can wet sand it in between coats, or you can just touch it up and spray it and be done with it. You don't even have to polish it out. That is totally up to you. And don't be lazy. Get under your plastics. You know, you stop and think, under your plastics you have light bulbs, and if it's a nice mirror finish under your light bulbs, you get a better shine. It just gives your light bulbs more of a glare. And another thing I do like about having this rotisserie that I made is, usually when I was done, I had all this crap, all the steel wool dust, and that was all laying in the bottom of the cabinet, all over everything in the cabinet. And it's terrible if you're doing an EM, because it's all over the contacts, your leaf switches, steppers. You have to go in and vacuum the heck out of everything again. Now if you have the rotisserie, you're just going to make a mess on the floor. That looks like about it. I already did the top half before. because it's hard to see what I'm doing up top, so I went ahead and did the top, and then I figured I'd show you doing down below here. Alright, that's all there is to it, and now we're ready to polish it out. And I got a couple of spots that I need to work over a little bit, and then we'll polish it and see how it's going to turn out. Alright, that's it. We got 3 coats of clear on it. I hand polished it with my Meguiar's, and then you've seen me wax it. So that's what we end up with. Turned out nice, if I do say so myself. And I can't reach, so I can't pat myself on the back, but yeah, it turned out good. Better than what I expected it to, with all the everything that was missing. Don't beat me up too bad. There was a lot missing on this one, and we got it pretty well squared away. I think it's presentable now. Anyway, okay, so that's it for the top side of the playfield. We got that all taken care of, and now what we need to do is we have to flip this over and start putting everything together on the bottom side so we can get the top put back together. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And I hope to see you on the next episode. Until then, see ya.